started out of 1 West 125th Street, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. This is the Tuesday Brotherhood class, man. Like I told y'all last week, we just got done with all the crimes that were committed against the Native Americans, the Native Indians, the Gadites, and the Reubenites. So now we're going to get into the things that has happened to our brothers, the Hispanics, the Latinos, the Mexicans. All right, this is what we're going to get into. Brother, go ahead and go to that first point for me. Let's talk about the crimes against the Mexicans and Hispanics and Latinos. Let me know if you need me to send it to you again.
If you could.
No sweat, brother. I'll send it to you again. It's quite all right. Don't worry about it, brother. I got you. It's right here. Got it right here. It should be getting to you in 3, 2. There you go. Go ahead, click on that, brother.
All right, calm. This is major crimes against Mexicans.
Okay.
Major crimes against Mexicans and Hispanics. Point 1, land theft after war. The Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. After this treaty, the U.S. took over half of Mexico's territory, including present-day California, Texas, and Arizona.
See, right here, we are talking about some of the things that this world has done to our Hispanic brothers, just like it did it to our Native Indian brothers. See, we are one people. When we sit here and tell you to gather yourselves together, O nation that's not desired, we start thinking that we're separate. We start thinking that we're not the same. And if you are listening to classes that we have been teaching, you'll know that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we are one. Now we're talking about the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. See, this treaty right here is what happened right after the Mexican-American War.
Right.
See, they made this treaty, and when they did this treaty, the U.S. government, the USA, the people of the Palm descent, Esau, took land from our Hispanic brothers, Latino brothers and sisters. What you got, brother?
So, like, if I may, I read somewhere that the Mexican and American War started because Mexico was trying to protect blacks. They were trying to keep slavery out of Mexico, which was actually Texas at the time.
Right. Because, you know, Mexico, like you said, it was Texas. Right. And according to this, it was also California, right, Arizona. So, because the Hispanics were trying to protect blacks, then they had the Mexican-American War. See, this is clear signs that indicate that we're family.
Right.
And we got to stop thinking that we're not family. If you are Latino, if you are Hispanic, if you Puerto Rican, Colombian, Cuban, Guatemalan, El Salvadorian, understand this. You are just like the blacks and Native Indians. And you got to stop trying to make yourself different. And black people, understand, we are all one. So stop hating on your brother. Stop hating on your sister. Stop thinking that you're different than them. Stop saying that you're going to sit this one out when it comes down to Hispanics, because at the end of the day, they didn't sit that one out when it came down to you. So, let's get it.
If I could, sir.
Go ahead.
One thing we could say about Latinos is they have always been in our corner till this day. Even though I don't agree with BLM, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They were out there.
Yeah.
They were holding signs. You know what I'm saying? They was out there marching in the streets with us. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Hell, even in history, they have historically fought for us. What do you think all these wars were in Texas and Mexico were about? They were for us.
Exactly. And those are the things that we have to hold on to. Right. We got to hold on to seeing what our brothers and sisters actually do for us. Like, we're not worried about that little police officer. What's her name?
Ashley Gonzalez.
Ashley Gonzalez. We're not worried about an Ashley Gonzalez. You want to know why? because Ashley Gonzalez have learned from her masters, who are the oppressors that the Bible speaks of. That's who her master is. That's who she serves, because she was raised to not like blacks. And the reason why she was raised to not like blacks is just the same reason why other Hispanics and Latinos were raised to not like blacks, because it made it easier for them to blend in with the oppressor. The oppressor would not touch them if they would agree to not like black people, just like your oppressor don't like black people. So we're not worried about a Ashley Gonzalez. We're talking to those Latinos, those Hispanics, those vatos, those people that's out there that's still la raza, that's still family, that's still out there thugging it out for us. And we got to do the same for them. What you got, brother?
If I may, sir, what you're saying is very heavy, because how you know she hates our people, you know, blacks and Latinos, is because she became a cop. Cops have been on the front line of black and Latino hate for decades.
For sure, that.
And she became a cop.
Yeah.
She became a part of the people who oppress us, and then thought she was one of them. And now she's learning that she's not. Because if she was a white woman, they would have set up a GoFundMe.
Yep.
She would have got paid.
Yep.
She would have got, matter of fact, she would have got a paid vacation.
Brother, you ain't saying no lies, brother. You ain't telling no lies were detected. But the thing about it is, it's the same reason why black people hated Hispanics. We were taught that.
Right.
We were taught that they felt like they were better than us.
Right.
They families were well off, better than our families, and all that. That's what we were taught. We were taught to hate one another so much that we don't know what it is to be family. And that's why we're teaching classes like this. Right. So we can go through the history of everything that has happened to our Native Indian people, our Hispanics and Latinos, and start seeing that, you know, we're not different. We done went through the same things. We're very similar. The same struggles that you went through, well, shoot, I went through. Shoot, how many times did you have to be in a household with you and all your cousins, and y'all up under one little blanket, and it's about 4 of y'all under that one little blanket, on a little spread that's out there on the floor? We done did it plenty of times. So what makes us better than them? They do it right now.
Right.
We do it right now. They in the hood. We in the hood with them.
Right. Real talk.
Like, I know for a fact in my neighborhood, I know there's a Hispanic that lived right across the street from me, and me and him got so cool, the brother come and cut my grass and tell me to pay him whenever I can pay him. If he come cut his grass, he go cut my grass too.
Right.
Because he's like, we family. And that's how he treats me. He treats me like family.
Right.
And I make sure I keep up on my end of the day. I make sure he gets his bread.
Right. Sure.
So let's get to it, bro. The treaty. See, this is one of the things that most black people don't understand and we don't know. We don't understand and we don't understand and know the facts of the Hispanics lost so much because they were fighting a war to save others,
right? Not
themselves. So they lost California, they lost Arizona and Texas fighting a war that wasn't just for them.
That's crazy.
Keep reading.
Come. The Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, signed on February 2nd, 1848, ended the Mexican-American War and redrew the North American map, concluded in Villa de Guadalupe Hidalgo near Mexico City. Mm-hmm. It transferred over half of Mexico's pre-war territory to the United States and established the Rio Grande as the border.
Keep going. Go to the background and negotiation.
Come. Background and negotiation. The war began in 1846 after disputes over Texas' southern boundary following the fall of Mexico City In 1847, U.S. diplomat Nicholas Trist, acting against President James K. Polk's recall order, negotiated peace with the Mexican commissioners Bernardo Cotto, Miguel Artristan, and Luis Gonzaga
Keep going.
Cuevas. The U.S. Senate ratified the treaty with Article X, protecting Mexican land grants removed on March 10th, 1848.
Keep going. Terms and
Come.
keep going.
Terms and territorial charges. Mexico recognized the Rio Grande as Texas boundary and ceded what became California, Nevada, Utah, most of Arizona, and New Mexico, parts of Colorado, Wyoming, Kansas, and Oklahoma. The U.S. assumed debts owed to its citizens and pledged safeguard to the property and civil rights of Mexicans in the ceded lands. This vast transfer, known as the Mexican Cession, completed the continual expansion of the U.S. states, except for the later Gaston Purchase.
So understand this. All these places, all this land was taken from the Hispanics. So when we be talking about, they're not citizens, they're illegal aliens, do you know how much land y'all took from them? They're in their land right now. And now you're telling them that this is illegal land because now, this is U.S. territory? No, this is their territory. If you want to be honest, you were the illegal immigrants. And you took it from them and put it under a treaty. And you wonder why the Bible tells you never trust thy enemy. Bible says, though his words is as smooth as butter, what was in his heart? War. War is in his heart. You got the precept, brother?
Concept.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, verse 10. And it reads, never trust thine enemy.
Never do what?
Never trust thine enemy.
Mm-hmm.
For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
We always say this, man. Your oppressor is going to show himself. Your enemy is going to always show that he's an enemy. It just takes time. Some people show it so quickly. So some people just can't hide it because their bloodlust is it's in them. But some people, they very cool, calm, and collected. They'll sit with you for some years. And then when they finally see that you finally trust them, then they pounce. Then they show you who they truly are. Just like iron rust. Iron don't rust just right off the bat. Takes some time, right? Takes a little weather to hit it for it to start rusting. So is your enemies. These oppressors are waiting for their opportunity to pounce. That's what they're doing to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians every single day. They're waiting on their opportunity. See, and they hide it under laws. They hide it under treaties. They're hiding it in the school systems. They're hiding it in religion. They're hiding it in the things that you don't recognize. Things that you would never think that they would be hiding it under. That's what they're using to take from blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Go to the bullet point number 2. What does it say? It says violence and lynchings and terror.
Come. Bullet point 2, violence, lynching, and terror. 1800s through the early 1900s. Thousands of Mexicans and Mexican Americans were lynched, executed without trial, killed by mobs or law enforcement. La Matanza of 1915, hundreds of Mexicans were killed by Texas Rangers and vigilantes during unrest along the border.
See, so now we're about to get into La Matanza. La Matanza you could call it a massacre of the Hispanics and Latinos, What you got, brother?
Salaki is one of many, but it translates to the killing.
Right.
Right.
Go ahead, brother. I know you got some information on that. Go ahead and read that out for me.
Come, sir. La Matanza,
Mm-hmm.
the massacre, refers to a wave of anti-Mexican violence that swept through South Texas between 1915 and 1919, reaching a peak in 1915. During this period, hundreds of ethnic Mexicans, many of them U.S. citizens, were killed by Texas Rangers, local law enforcement, and vigilantes amid racial tensions and wartime fears along the U.S.-Mexico border.
What does that sound like to you? Let's see. This was back in 1915. We in 2026. What does that sound like to you? See, it's not the massacre, but you know what's happening right now? What is ICE doing right now? ICE is what? Taking our people, putting them in cages, even though they're what you would call an American citizen, but this is their land. But you're taking them from their land and putting them in cages and giving them foil blankets. You're taking children from their parents. You're picking their parents up while they're at the graduation for their elementary school child. It's a new form of lamentaza. That's what we're looking at right now. This is the new day and age lamentaza. Right. It's like, you don't think that this is a new form of slavery?
Right.
You don't think that this is the new day and age slavery that they're doing to our Hispanic brothers?
Right.
Our Hispanic sisters? The Hispanic children? And they're ready to deport them. A lot of them are just sitting. They ain't even deport them. They're just sitting in there.
Right.
In the cages because you saying that they're not U.S. citizens. What you got, bro?
In contrast to what you're saying, there was no trial.
None. No trial at all, brother. You know what they said? Lamentaza, they said executed without trial.
Right. Same thing.
They're making them do a life sentence in a cage without trial. How many Hispanics have you heard had trial to see if they could fight the case against them from ICE trying to deport them for no reason? Is that on the news? Is that being shown? These type of things aren't being shown, man. And y'all don't recognize that we're family? ICE is trying to deport our brothers and our sisters and take away the children and split up happy families that's just trying to find a new place to lay their heads that once was their ancestors' land. Don't that sound familiar to you? That don't sound familiar to you? It sounds familiar to me. Sounds like the same thing the Native Indians were doing. Sounds like the same thing that as black people that we're trying to do. But yet, we don't think that we're one. Brother, keep reading. Do you want to go to the historical background of it?
Yeah, sir. I got you.
Go ahead.
Historical background. The killings occurred during the Bandit Wars, a period of border unrest tied to raids, property disputes, and the impact of the Mexican Revolution. Anglo settlers in the lower Rio Grande Valley viewed Mexican Texans with suspicion, particularly after the discovery of the Plan de San Diego, which called for a rebellion to reclaim the southwestern U.S. territories from Mexico. This fueled widespread retribution against Mexican descent residents, regardless of involvement.
Brother. So Lamentaza, this massacre of thousands of Hispanics is about territories. It's about disputes. Because at the end of the day, what the oppressor wanted just wasn't enough. And now he wants you not to come over here. Now he wants to have these disputes over the land and stuff. These are the things that they use to shed innocent blood. These are the things that your oppressor used to make it okay for him to shed innocent blood. What you got, brother?
Like I got a precept.
What you got?
This is the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 2. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man and his heritage.
Read it again.
Okay. And they covet fields and take them by violence.
They do what?
And take them by violence.
See, your oppressor, he sees what you have, and he's like, I want it. You give him it, he's like, I want more. Hey, man, enough, man. Look, he said half and half. Nah, I want it all. So you know what he does? What does the Bible say that your oppressor does?
And take them by violence.
So your oppressor decides he wants to covet your land, and he's going to take it by violence. Keep reading.
And houses.
And what else?
And houses.
Keep going.
And take them away. So they oppress a man and his house.
So he can do what?
So they oppress a man and his house.
What? Has biblical days and right now, has it changed?
Nah.
I think we still dealing with the same oppressors. They've passed it down from generations down to generations down to generations. They want to take what you have. They want to covet. They want to make it their own. And what they're not going to do is this. They're not going to be nice about it. They're going to ask you once or twice, and after that, they're going to take it by violence. And they're going to take it because they want to oppress a man and his household. This seems, it seems like the same thing. Same story over and over again with blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We have one common enemy, and it's not one another. It's your oppressor. It's Esau.
Right.
The Edomites. If you don't know who the Edomites are, it's the so-called Caucasians. Those are our enemies. The government is our enemies. The police system is our enemy. ICE is our enemy. These people covet. They take our homes. They take our land through violence, through harassment. And what else do? They oppress the man and his home. And his what, brother? What else?
Sir. And even a man and his heritage.
And his heritage. This Bible, like, this is how you can't tell me a white man wrote this Bible. Because why would a white man write a Bible that's so gun-ho on showing you how destructive and evil they are? So you telling me he wrote the Bible to show you, hey, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Love not thy oppressor, and choose none of his ways. I don't think our oppressor will write that in the Bible. I think our oppressor will make sure that was never shown in the Bible. What else you got, brother?
I got one more for you.
Go ahead, brother. Come on, brother. I'm with you.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 22, verse 29.
All right.
The people of the land have used oppression.
The people of the land have done what?
Have used oppression.
Keep going.
And exercised robbery. And have vexed the poor and needy. Yea, they have oppressed the stranger wrongfully.
They have done what?
Oppressed the stranger wrongfully.
So, who's the so-called stranger right now? Based off of that, who's the stranger right now? Go ahead. Go ahead, bro. They are oppressing the strangers wrongfully because they don't know who they are. They don't know whose land it truly is. They just want to oppress. You have to be mindful and understand who your enemies are and what lengths of wickedness they'll go through and they will go to try to destroy you. Brother, let's drop that. Let's go down to the we just got done with Lamentaza. Go to the patterns of violence on Lamentaza.
Come.
Let's go.
Patterns of violence. Victims were often executed without trial, their bodies left unburied or displayed as warnings.
How many times have you seen that? How many times have you seen a black, Hispanic, or a Native Indian being massacred, being unalived, and they don't sit here and cover up their body? They leave it out there for everybody else to see. You see it on social media. Like when little oppressors get unalived, do you even get to see the photo? Do you even get to see the blood of the little oppressor? Do you get to see how they look when they get shot wrongfully? Because it's not happening to them. But blacks, Hispanics, the Latinos, how many times have you seen Latinos be wrongfully treated and beaten and ripped away from their families? And it's on live TV. We see it all the time. How many times have you seen black people being shot, being unalived, and it's being shown? Plastered all over social media, on the news. Come on, man. It's time for us to really see these oppressors for who they really are. They're your enemies. They're your adversaries. Go ahead and keep going, brother.
The violence included mass shootings.
It included what?
Mass shootings.
So you can't tell me that these ain't these oppressors. Because even in Lamentaza, they done had mass shootings.
That's their culture.
That's their cultures. That's exactly what it is, brother. So you know the mass shootings that's happening in these schools right now? Who's the majority of the people that comes out as the mass shooters? It's mainly what? Edomites. And that's the same thing that happened with the Hispanics right here. In Lamentaza, they had a lot of mass shootings. A lot of people being unalived wrongfully without trial. And they're not being buried. No. They're being left out in the streets for other people to see them and send a message that the same way I did him, I'll do you next. See, why you think in the book of Deuteronomy, it says a nation of fierce countenance that shows no favor for the old nor the young. Right. These people do not care. These people are here to steal, unalive, and destroy. You had something, brother?
I just got the Google Analytics.
Go ahead.
For the, based on data from 1982 to 2026, the majority of mass shooters in the United States are white.
The majority of mass shooters are what?
Are white.
So the Caucasian race, the Edomites, as we know, or for some, the oppressor. The majority of mass shootings are coming from your oppressor because for him, it's crowd control. From him, he's trying to control what we are dealing with. If he doesn't feel like he has the control he wants, then hide your kids and hide your wives because the Edomite is going to find a gun. What else you got, brother? Keep reading on that Lamentaza, the pattern of the violence. The water.
The violence included mass shootings, disappearances, and intimidation campaigns that displaced entire communities. The Texas Rangers, then operating with minimal oversight, played a central role, supported by vigilante groups who claim to be suppressing bandit activity.
See, these vigilante groups. What are these vigilante groups called? What is a vigilante group called that we're dealing with right now? ICE. That's a vigilante group right now.
Right.
They the same. Were they deputized? When ICE started, were they deputized? Or were they a vigilante group that just decided they wanted to help? I love this country so much, I'm willing to put myself on the line and help. Now, those are real Trump supporters right there.
Right.
That's what it is. It's the vigilante group of Trump. What you got, brother?
So, like, if I may,
What's up?
what did it just say? They were what did it just say? Oh, they're trying to suppress bandit activity. What did Trump say? I'm trying to stop drugs from coming over the border.
Yeah.
When the U.S. is the one letting it come over,
Brother.
They're trying to stop sayers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I mean, if you read the Epstein file, who's the main SAer? What race of people has the highest percent of SA?
Right. You already know what it is. The Caucasians.
If I may,
the oppressor.
At this point, Mexico might want to build a wall for America.
Brother, they got it. Now, I ain't gonna lie. If Mexico build a wall, I know ain't nobody coming over that wall. I'm gonna tell you now. If our Latino brothers build a wall to save themselves from the oppressor, ain't no way somebody getting over that wall.
Right.
They gonna have booby special things and everything all the way through that wall. Cause what y'all don't know, and what y'all probably do know, y'all messing with the people that knows what they're doing. These people build, bro. How long does it take a Hispanic and all his people to build a home?
A week or two.
Bro, I'm telling you, I done seen it done. Bro, you go to these and this is the reason why, as a people, we got to learn how to love one another better. Because if we did, we wouldn't have to be dealing with these oppressors. You see what we talking about right now, and with Lamentaza, they doing all these wicked things to our Hispanic brothers and sisters. And these are the same people that we see all the time, not afraid to work, not afraid to get dirty, not afraid to do the damn job. But we got to worry. They have to worry. Y'all saw the story. Our Hispanic brother, top of a woman's roof, redid her whole entire roof. And because she didn't want to pay them, she called ICE on them. Once they got done, she called ICE on them. Or in the words of Lamentaza, what did it say in Lamentaza? The vigilante group. She called a vigilante group to come get those brothers so that way she didn't have to pay them for the work that they did. You don't see how we're one? You don't see how we should love on one another because we're all going through some serious things? Our Hispanic brothers and sisters in the Latino nation have been going through hell ever since their land was taken through this treaty, through the treaty that they signed after the Mexican-American War. What else you got out?
Like, if I may.
Go ahead. You good?
Yeah, constant.
All right, go ahead and keep reading. Go to number 3.
Okay.
Cause if y'all watch back in our other 2 classes ago, we talked about the Indian Removal Act, right? The Indian Removal Act was was a United States federal law enacted in 1830 that authorized the forced relocation of indigenous people from their ancestral lands in the southeastern U.S. to the territories west of the Mississippi River, which marked the pivotal and tragic movement in U.S. history, shaping the federal tribal relations from generations. The Indian Removal Act was the act that started the Trail of Tears, right? So let's go to the Hispanics. Because if you're talking about a Native Indian, Native Indians and Hispanics, they kind of what and what. Just like with black people, we're all what and what, right? We've all went through similar deportation or relocation acts, right? Go to the Mexican repatriation, the forced deportation.
Point 3, forced deportations, including U.S. citizens. Mexican repatriation during the Great Depression, up to 1 million people of Mexican descent were deported or pressured to leave. Many were U.S. citizens.
So right here, in the Mexican repatriation, it already lets you know up to 1 million people, 1 million Hispanics was what of the Mexican descents were deported and pressured to leave. Don't that sound just like the same thing what happened with the Indian Removal Act? Go ahead and read into it more. What you got?
If I could, it seems like every time America needs a villain, they look at niggas.
Yeah.
They look at us.
Yeah.
If they want to cover their crime, they make us the villain.
Brother, how else are they going to push their agenda if they don't make the darker skin complexion people the villains?
Right.
How else are they going to push their narratives? If it ain't white in their eyes, it ain't right. That's what it's been.
Right.
That's what it's been for so long. But keep going. Go ahead and get into it.
Mexican repatriation. The American repatriation was a mass deportation campaign during the Great Depression.
Was a what?
Was a mass deportation campaign during the Great Depression.
Keep going.
The years 1929 through 1939 that expelled hundreds of thousands of people of Mexican descent, many of them U.S. citizens, from the United States to Mexico.
So you're telling me with this Mexican Repatriation Act, people that their land was here, they were citizens, not illegal immigrants, they were citizens. They were told that they had to leave. They were told that they had to move. They weren't able to stay in their land because what? Oh, just because I look like him, I must be illegal? I must have to go? Keep going. What else does it say?
From the United States to Mexico.
To what?
From the United States to Mexico.
So bad enough that we did this little treaty with y'all and then y'all took land from us. But now you're telling me I gotta go. I'm a citizen here. But now I gotta go to Mexico? So you're deporting me to Mexico even though I was a citizen. Don't that sound familiar? It's crazy how the stuff that happened back then is happening right now, and our people don't even consider. Our people don't even think about it. Keep going.
Organized by local, state, and federal authorities, it remains one of the largest forced migrations in U.S. history.
Look, your oppressor does not care about you. This is why blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, this is why we have to come together as one people, as one nation. The 12 tribes of Israel has to unite.
Right.
Because if we don't, things like this is going to keep happening. The cycle will continue every time the oppressor wants to do it. That happened, the Mexican Repatriation Act happened how long ago?
The years 1929 through the year 1939.
And it's 2026 right now, and they doing it again.
If I may, that was not that long ago.
It wasn't. It wasn't that long ago.
Not even 100 years.
Brother, not even 100 years, brother.
Mind you, my great-grandmother, still alive to this day, was born around in the 1920s.
So she was around the time of the Mexican Repatriation.
Come.
And it's back again. It's back again. If we don't gather ourselves together, O nation that's not desired, these people are going to be able to do whatever they want to do whenever they feel like it. It's time for us to gather ourselves together. It's time for us to stop. It's time for us to put the drugs down. It's time for us to put the alcohol down. It's time for us to put the weed down. It's time for us to gather ourselves. It's time for us to get out of these churches that's just saying whatever they need to make you feel good. It's time for us to come out of those places. Because look what's happening to our people. This is one of the biggest migrations, the biggest relocation of a people. And it's back again. And mind you, this is not something nicely done. This is a forced relocation, a forced migration. The same thing they did to the Gadites and the Reubenites. Same thing that they did to my people, the native Indians. It was a forced relocation. The Trail of Tears was a forced relocation. The Mexican Repatriation Act was a forced relocation of Hispanics and Native Indians. When are we going to be the change and make the change so that way our children don't have to deal with this? Them Hispanic kids should not be in cages right now. They should not be torn away from their families because what? ICE, these vigilantes of Trump, trying to oppress what? The man and his heritage. Go ahead and keep reading now. What else you got?
Come. An estimated deported was from 400,000 to 200 million people. U.S. citizens affected 60% of total deportees. Primary regions: California, Texas, Michigan, Colorado, and Illinois. Want me to drop down to origins and curses?
Yeah.
Okay. Origins and curses. The repatriation campaign arose amid mass unemployment for nativists fever during Great Depression. Politicians and civic groups claimed that Mexicans took jobs. God damn.
They claim what?
Mexicans took jobs.
So, yet again, you see how the cycle continues. See, back in the day, they used that same thing. They taking our jobs. What jobs are they taking from you?
The black jobs.
They taking the black job. What jobs are they taking?
Right.
I'll wait. Because you can't tell me our oppressor want to be out there building houses. You can't tell me that our oppressor wants to be out there building roads, breaking down concrete and asphalt. You can't tell me our oppressor wants to sit there and do that. So what jobs are they taking? Our brothers and sisters is out here in food trucks. They sitting outside of Home Depot right now just looking for a job, trying to fix somebody's roof for pennies on a dollar. You know, when people used to sell food stamps back in the day, they said they want either 50% on the dollar or 60% on the dollar on them food stamps. Hispanics and Latinos are being paid pennies on a dollar. Like they're being paid dirt cheap to do a lot of work. And you know what oppressors say to get them out of here? To get them relocated forcefully? They're taking our jobs. How many oppressors do you see that wants to be janitors? How many oppressors do you see that want to work in food trucks? Okay, but brother, they said that the Mexicans are taking the jobs. How many of them do you see be maintenance men? Going around apartments and making sure people have AC. Making sure people can have, okay, if they refrigerator breaks. See, I got a Hispanic, I got an El Salvadorian partner right now. Right. That boy is bad. Like that boy bad. You tell that boy right there, man, if you tell him, hey fam, do me a favor one time. I got a new microwave. I need that mug installed into the wall. Like I need an over-the-range microwave. I need that done real quick and a ventilation system to go along with it. That boy gonna be like, you know what? Hey, my friend, give me $200 and some food and I'm good. $200 and some food, man, you can have that. But you know what the U.S. government say? You know what the oppressors say? They're taking our jobs. And that's what you use for your forceful relocation of Hispanics that are citizens here. This is what we're dealing with. Go ahead, brother. You so you can't.
It just baffles me how dense it just baffles me how dense and dumb the oppressor truly is, because they fall for the same stuff over and over and over. The same speech. The same thing of why America and the politicians are not dependable, on why they are bad leaders, on why they cannot manage anything. They can't even manage themselves. I mean, once again, the Epstein list proves that. Yep. They can't govern anything, but they always blame us for their incompetence.
Hey, man, somebody got to be to blame, and it ain't going to ever be your oppressor. Your oppressor is never going to look in the mirror and be like, you're to blame. You are to blame. Your oppressor would never do that. So the same way that we do it in the truth, we got to do it in the world. In this truth, you know what we always tell people? Remain blameless. Get out the way of your oppressor. Like, when I'm saying get out the way, I'm saying let your oppressor have these jobs that he wants so badly, and we go create our own jobs. Oh, you want this? You want this plot of land so badly? No sweat. We have this land over here that's only for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We don't have to join hand in hand with these oppressors. We don't have to be in the same land as them. We don't have to sit here and build colonies with them. We don't have to do that anymore. We don't have to. The only thing we need to do is keep on moving forward with one another. That's all we need to do. That's all we got to do. Brother, is that it on that, or you got some more?
It's more, sir.
Keep it going.
And burden welfare roles, security of labor, William N. Doak promoted deportations as economic relief.
Whoa. He did what?
He promoted deportations as economic relief.
So William N. Doak. Boy, that sounds like an ugly boy. I tell you. Oppressors got some weird names, brother. I'm telling you. William N. Doak promoted deportation as a economic relief. So you moving people is an economic relief. People that you're barely paying any money to in the first place, that's an economic relief, right? What you got?
So like, sir, but how is taking work from people who are getting the money and then spending it? How is that going to help the economy,
Brother? If 2 + 2 = 4, how do you get 8? That's oppressor math right there, brother. That's oppressor math. Because you paying these people and you know that they're, going to spend the money with you. But you need an economic relief, right? That's cool. So what you're doing is you're taking the jobs away from them, which is going to make the jobs not get done, which means more money on figure out how the job done, which means that you're losing money. Because now, what you got to do? You got to find somebody that's actually willing to do the job.
Right.
But you know what? You want to know what's crazy, brother? As we get further down into this lesson, you're going to see what the oppressor decides to do. And what the oppressor tries to do shows you exactly how much of an enemy he is to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Right.
But let's go. Let's keep on reading, brother.
Okay. Local welfare agencies and private charities coordinated voluntary departures that were often coercive or forced, backed by racial profiling and raids.
Keep going.
Implementation.
Right.
Authorities conducted mass raids in public spaces, including 1931 La Placenta Roundup in Los Angeles. People with Spanish surnames were targeted regardless of citizenship. Deportations occurred by trains, buses, and ships, with families separated and property. With families separated and property often seized or lost. The Immigration and Neutralization Service, the INS, played limited but visible role. Most expulsions were locally organized rather than federally documented.
Understand this, man.
INS, ICE.
Brother, this is why I keep saying, dog, INS.
What?
Bro, so you're telling me the authorities conducted mass raids in public spaces, including the 1931 roundup in Los Angeles. These oppressors are showing you that, you know what, their trade book, their playbook is redundant. They do it over and over and over again. When are we going to stop it? As a people, when are we going to stop it? Because this playbook, this ain't even 100 years old. And they're doing it again. They're doing it again to our people. And it's just, the name has changed, but the game is the same. So when, as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, when as family members, are we going to say enough is enough and we stop it? We come together and actually protect one another. When are we going to do that? So that way we don't have to have the same thing over and over again, man. Enough is enough, man. And with that, we gonna stop right here, bro. We're going to stop right here with the Mexican Repatriation Act. And next week, we're going to get into some more crimes that were committed against our Hispanic and Latino brothers and sisters. All right, so y'all tune in. Y'all come back next week, and we're going to talk more about the Hispanic brothers and sisters and the things that were done against them and how our oppressors are so evil and demented towards our people and how we got to stand together. Like Zephaniah 2:1, it says, gather yourselves together, O nation that's not desired. We might not be desired from nobody else, but we should be desired by one another. And with that, we're going to say a majah stand. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers, then to the sisters. Men of Israel, Majum Shabbat, Majum, Barak, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Brakatah, Yakim Matah, Sor, which means face the sisters. Sisters Yeshabya, which means to stand. Men of Israel, Majum Shabbat, Majum, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Atah Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah. Yakim Matah, class dismissed.